Where are you? Shit, I missed. Hello gamers and fellow scientist survivors. The combat update for Forever Skies is finally here. 2 new Underdust areas, giant insects that make our life harder, an upgraded crossbow, throwable mines, and a lot of new plants and items, such as better medkits. The Underdust is now more menacing and challenging than ever. Although, to be honest, once you get a few upgrades and get to know the mechanics of the new enemies, the traversing of the poison downtown areas becomes like a walk in a park. There are a few spoilers ahead regarding the new upgrades and how to use the new artifact trading station. If you want to see it for yourself first, then pause the video and watch it afterwards. There are 2 creature types which were added with this update, and they can actually move. The one of them, the Mantis, you should already be familiar with if you played Forever Skies previously. These giant insects could be encountered as corpses, and you would get chitin and mantis glands from them. The glands don't seem to have a usage now, and I only found them once during the new playthrough. But chitin is very useful. You can craft the new chitin armor from it, which offers damage reduction and lowers the risk of getting a viral infection. Chitin is also a cure against the hemorrhage disease, which the mantis can inflict on you if it slashes you with one of its arms. The creature can also surprise you with a jumping attack, but mostly, if you are careful, you will encounter the mantis at a distance, where the creature will spit its acid bile on you, which is easy to avoid. The other creature is the webbling larva. They spawn from a nest which will have to be destroyed quickly, otherwise they will just keep coming. The larvae are slow and can be one-shot even with a standard knife, but they can become dangerous if there are several nests nearby and they swarm you from all directions. They can also infect you with the Pyrexia virus, which is not a big deal if you have the cure for that already. The Wild Habitat, the official name for one of the 2 new areas, has an inbuilt respawn feature. Sometimes on your return trip, new creatures will jump out in the areas that were already cleared. If you linger for a longer time on your airship and then revisit the previously explored area, the mantises will have repopulated it. To combat this new Underdust threat, you have new and upgraded weapons at your disposal. The one you will likely use most is the crossbow. You now have to unlock it first. You find the wrecked and scannable blueprint if you follow the main quest. It will be in the same laboratory where you find your cute little bug companion. The standard model has a clip of 4 bolts. There is also an upgraded version of it to be found in the Wild Habitat, the one that is overrun with the mantises. The damage seems to stay the same, but the clip size is doubled, 8 bolts altogether. The crossbow features 2 new bolt types, the poisoned and the charged bolts. The poisoned ones do what they imply, poison damage over time. 3 shots are sufficient to kill a mantis on normal difficulty. You just have to wait a few seconds for the poison to come into effect. The charged bolts definitely deal the highest damage of all bolt types, but as they require energy crystals as crafting ingredients, which can't be grown at your airship farm, it's best to use them sparingly. The charge bolts are your tools as well. There are certain blocked passages that require you to shoot them with the charge bolts in order to destroy them. We now also have decoys, stun and explosive mines. I tried them out, but ultimately ended up not using them. You can't throw them far, and the mantises don't follow you into the narrow corridors, so you can't use them to block the passage. Once thrown, they cannot be picked up again. This makes them not very efficient, as you will waste a lot of them. They also use a lot of precious inventory space, especially if you don't have a backpack unlocked. The backpack is my favorite upgrade that comes with this update. You'll find a small one in the first new area of the Underdust, if you explore it thoroughly. The second one is added to the Underdust suburbs, which now feature the new enemies as well. The big backpack, the biggest of all, features 20 slots, which thus doubles your original inventory size. The big backpack can only be acquired through the artifact trading station, the new addition to the game. The main purpose of the trading station is to exchange the figurines and posters, of which you have way too many copies. Here you can also get the retro-futuristic furniture and new cosmetics for your bug companion. There are 3 tiers of goods, which you can unlock by selling the same items that you see in the Buy tab. You can only sell 7 items at one such machine, which means you will have to visit several locations which feature them. Buying goods from them don't give you the favor progression. Only selling items unlocks the tier 2 and 3. The second tier is unlocked very quickly, the third is a bit of a grind though. Selling items from the tier 3 list gives you the maximum 60 points per sale. And lucky for us, there is always a tier 3 poster, the one featuring the mantis, that is only a few meters away. When you unlock the tier 2, you should immediately buy the artifact Lure Blueprint. Once acquired, you can fish for the cosmetics while being on the airship. The lure needs fiberglass to be crafted, which you will find plenty of at the building with the trading station. The only downside of the artifact lure is that you can apparently only get figurines from it, and thus no posters. Especially the garden gnomes are the ones that keep invading my airship. Who the hell made so many of them, and why? If you're a fan of garden gnomes, then good for you. Otherwise, sell them to the machine, 6 on each run plus the mantis poster, and you will get your large backpack eventually. One thing to note here is that having several catchers employed at the same time does not seem to work. Only one works and the others will simply do nothing. No idea if it is a bug or a feature, but you can always take a quick nap to speed up the catching process. Once you unlock the tier 3, your trade strategy should change. I found out that you can dismantle tier 2 and tier 3 items at the recycler. A dismantled mantis poster would give you 24 tech points instead of only 16 tech points if you sell it at the artifact trading station. For some reason, it doesn't work for tier 1 items, it would only give you back synthetics. There is apparently no upper limit on how many items you can buy at the trading station. I spent about 300 tech points at one station and it would not lock me out. This means you could spend hours upon hours in the skies collecting lots of posters and other cosmetics. Then you dismantle all of that at your airship base and spend all of your accumulated tech points in one go. Amazing. A bit concerning is the fact that the wild habitat and the new territory locations use the same symbol on the radar. This means you are not able to specifically target the wild habitat, where you can hunt the mantises or avoid it by only going to the new territory which doesn't have them. You will only know for sure which location it is through a displayed message on the left of your screen when you arrive there with your airship. This goes against the game's consistency, as all other important locations always have their own symbol. But luckily, both of them feature the trading station and the fiberglass, which will be the main reasons to go there. One last thing worth mentioning are the boosters you could use to make your combat encounters easier. Keep in mind that you can always use only 2 boosters at the same time. For me, the obligatory one is always the oxygen booster. Not only does it give you more time before you must refill your air supply, but also has a nice side effect of keeping up your energy level. You should, of course, not forget to sleep or consume items that give you energy to take the full advantage of that effect. That way, your stamina pool will always be at its max level. The other booster I ended up using is the mobility booster. It makes your arena fights with the mantises so much easier if you can simply shoot your crossbow, run away, and shoot again. If you're still new to the mantis combat or have troubles in general to avoid being hit, I recommend using the blood coagulation booster, which gives you damage reduction. In combination with the chitin armor, you will become almost immortal. For a while at least. If you're afraid of catching a virus, you could also go for the immunity booster. Note that you can get a booster for free once you have the medical station, which you can find at the infected garden. You only need at least one preternatural seed to insert into the machine, but you can take it back afterwards. The immunity booster only increases your chance of not getting a virus from a hit. It does not guarantee a full immunity. Nevertheless, you can use the immunity booster to raid infected gardens or infected sections of normal gardens to get more preternatural seeds and medical reagents which you need to craft new boosters. All in all, I like the new update quite a lot. The combat is not very sophisticated, which may be boring to some people. For instance, I could not figure out if there are any meaningful weak points. Dealing headshots on the mantises did not seem to kill them faster. But on the other hand, Forever Skies is not an action game in the first place, and that's why I consider the combat mechanics quite sufficient for now. Nevertheless, let's hope there will be more exciting combat additions and new enemies to fight in the future. What is definitely needed is a bigger layout variety for the Underdust in general. The wild habitat and the new territory locations have always the same layout. Sometimes there is an additional ladder here and there, which might be missing at other locations, but that's essentially it. Once you completed the area once, you know exactly where to go to at a new such location. The new Underdust areas should also be much bigger in my opinion. As of now, they can be fully explored in just a few minutes. Other than that, I'm looking forward to the 1.0 release of the game, which shouldn't be far away from now on. What is this mysterious robot voice that guides us? Will we find a cure for the virus that's killing us? And will we have to become Underdust mutants ourselves in order to survive? Questions that will hopefully be answered very soon. I wish you all a nice and a little scary exploration of the Underdust. Don't get bullied by the bugs. It is you who is the boss here. If you liked this video, please consider to leave a like and subscribe so that this channel might grow as fast as an Underdust plant. And see you sometime soon, fellow infected and dying scientists.